Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk Business. I'm your host, Chuck Leonard. Here on Let's Talk Business, we bring local businesses to you so that you can get to know them and keep your money local. Our first guest is Christy Sasser, and she's the owner of Ace Marketing and Printing. Christy, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Very nice to have you on Let's Talk Business.
Thank you.
Let's get started with how did Ace Printing and Marketing come to be?
Well, I started doing it about 7 years ago, just kind of for fun, something else to do outside of my regular office job, and it was something different, different people every day, and I just ended up really enjoying it and met a lot of great people and started to actually make money doing it. So I kept my full-time job for a long time.
What was that?
I did medical billing.
Well, it's something completely different.
Yeah, totally different, in an office every day, staring at a computer. And so last year is when I actually left my job at the medical billing and said, all right, let's just do this. Let's go for it.
That's a pretty big step.
Yes. I was terrified.
You must have been doing pretty good, because no one's going to, quit a good, steady paying job to get into something else without it going well. Was it something that you just enjoyed so much that your enthusiasm spilled over and people just wanted to do business with you?
Yeah, I do. I enjoy it. Even my son, he's, a young teenager, and he's even starting to do it now, and he loves it. So because he's get out there,
because he's a computer guy, right? All those teenagers are computer guys. Does he helps you out with that end?
Yeah, he's actually starting to do some of the sales part of it as well. And
that's so good for a young man.
I'm taking him to some of the mixers with the Clovis Chamber of Commerce, and so we're really enjoying that as well. So he's getting to meet some people out there. It's a good way for him to meet some connections. So
awesome. Are you located in Clovis?
I had a small office in Clovis, but I just closed it down because I really wasn't using it. We have a warehouse downtown.
Excellent.
And so 99.9% of the time I go out to my customer. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually doing a lot of my work from home. So I have my cell phone listed, and you can call me anytime, and I even sometimes take evening calls,
And that's the number right on the screen right there, 709-8662.
Yes.
And what kind of marketing and advertising do you guys do?
We do a lot of business cards, flyers, brochures. We do banners, yard signs. You see them on all the corners these days.
Right.
We do metal signs for your businesses, all that kind of stuff. Any paper product or banners, signs you need for your marketing, we can get that done for you.
That's pretty competitive business.
Yeah.
How do you stay up on everybody else?
The printing business in Fresno is very competitive. All of our print product comes on a very nice cardstock. We don't do anything on the cheap, flimsy paper. Everything is very nice, and we can do a gloss finish or a matte. Honestly, I call around sometimes, and I
call your competitors.
I
right?
do. I call the competitors, and I'm like, I'm a new business starting, and I check pricing. And I like to be able to have the lowest prices in town. And so, if that's another thing, we will try to match any price that, as long as it's on the same card stock, and we'll try to match a price to get your business.
What I always tell people is, a nice business card's important.
Absolutely.
It really is. It really tells something about you when you hand that card over. However, I think, in my opinion anyway, that the glossy ones, you can't write on them.
Right.
And so I always go for the matte.
Yeah.
And they're less expensive most of the time. Mm-hmm. But I like the matte. Is that something that you talk about with people?
Yes, definitely, because I have some customers that do want the glossy look, and so what we can do is do like a gloss finish on the front and a matte on the back, and so that way they can write on it.
Smart.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of things are getting to be real popular in the advertising right now? You mentioned yard signs.
The yard signs are crazy right now, and I have to say, I myself have been doing them. They're all over Clovis. If you're driving down Herndon, you'll see them, and that has really been a very good source of advertising for me as well. I'm getting tons of calls off of them, and I've had several clients start doing them, and they're loving it as well.
Excellent. You mentioned that you now have a downtown Fresno location.
Yes.
I'm a big supporter of downtown. What made you move down there?
We just had a building down there, and so we just set up some of the equipment for all the embroidery and all that. It's a good location. I like the downtown area.
Yeah, so do I.
They can just, I'm glad to hear they're trying to revamp everything.
Right. It's kind of feel a little big city, right?
I know. Even driving down here, I was looking at these old tower homes, and some of them they're so cute. I love them, but And
a lot of them with yard signs.
Yeah,
right?
Yes, they're all over.
Now, if there's a new business starting out, and we deal a lot with new businesses here. If there's a new business starting out, what's affordable for people out there?
The flyers are really affordable. A lot of people are doing the flyers. The yard signs are very inexpensive as well. I've heard some people say they were paying like $40 for one yard sign at Office Max.
Whoa.
And I was like, holy cow, if you're doing a small quantity, I can do them for about $10 a sign.
Is that because they're not actually printing them, that they're sending them out and have other people doing it for them?
Maybe. And
having your own equipment is a big savings cost to the customer, right?
Yes. So I was just shocked when one of my customers said she paid $40 for a sign. I was like, oh, I feel so bad for her, because you feel like, they've just been taken advantage of.
Right.
So.
Now, do you put together packages for people?
Let's
get you some yard signs, let's get you some business cards, let's get you some flyers.
If they would like to do a package, we can work out. I'll always like to, if they're purchasing, a larger quantity of stuff, I always like to do a package and get a better price for them. So I like to keep my customers and take care of them. And I always go out to my customer. I deliver everything to them. I don't make them drive back and forth to me. And I like that very personable touch with them.
So do you go out to the customer in the very beginning also?
Yes.
Because you seem like you're always out and about.
I am.
and I think that's important.
Yes.
Because, over the phone or through the internet, you're not getting a super good feel for the business.
Right.
Do you think that's important?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you don't know who you're dealing with, it's hard to get that connection and relationship with your customer. So.
And talking to them one-on-one, kind of like you and I are doing right now, you get a better feel for the business about what they might need, right? They might be thinking they need this, but then you go, well, wait a minute, this has worked good for some of my other clients in this same field, maybe.
Right, absolutely.
Nice.
Yes.
Now, if someone want to get a hold of you, it's 709-8662. Do you have a website?
I don't have a website right now. I have an email address. It's ace151@comcast.net. You can email us for a quote or any questions you may have. And other than that, the phone is also a great way to get in touch with me.
Now the internet, that makes it just a teeny bit easier than it used to be.
Yes.
Because you can send a proof to somebody, email, rather than running it across town, and they can tweak it. And you can have some major changes done real easily.
Correct. I have a couple of customers down in Southern California, and we're able to do everything just by internet, and then I just ship the product to them. So
that's awesome.
The internet is really a great tool. So
that's awesome.
Yes.
Now, if someone wants to get a hold of you, they call you.
Yes.
Do you quote over the phone, or do you come out to the business first and talk? How does it work?
I will give a quote over the phone, and that way I tell them also when I give that quote that, we try to match any prices if you find something cheaper. That way it does give them the opportunity to call around and make sure they're getting the best price. And I like to be fair, so let them check their pricing. I'm all for it.
Right. Who knows? It might be you calling.
That's right.
Now, we were talking about business cards, and I think business cards are really important.
Right.
And I know some people like to have personal business cards.
Right.
When my fiance and I first went out, she had her own business card, and she handed it to me. You know what it said?
What?
Not girlfriend material.
Oh.
Yeah. So, what is a business card? What are those costs these days? Let's go low end to high end.
Low end to high end, anywhere from, it could be $50, it could be $99, depending on what you're getting.
Is that $50 per thousand? 500?
500. Mm-hmm.
That's cheap.
Yeah, we usually do $99 for 1,000, and it's on the nice thick 16-point cardstock. If, again, sometimes the pricing with the business cards, a lot of people run specials, and so that's where a lot of the price matching will come in. And so I have had customers call me and say, you know what, I have this lady that's selling them right now for, $75.
Right.
And absolutely, I'll match the price.
Done.
Yes,
right.
done. Bring it
in. Now, I believe the business cards are the first most important thing that you need.
Right.
What's the second?
Well, the first important thing you need really is your logo. But the business card.
Do you design logos?
I have a wonderful graphic designer. His name's Aaron, and he is really good, and he does do the design logo. So he also does websites, so I think I need to get on him to do me one.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to go to Ace Marketing and be able to just get a lot of that preliminary work on there.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. So local business, and are you a local girl?
Local. I've been here since I was 3, so I'm local.
Local business, local girl, helping out you guys. You guys, if you need any advertising or marketing materials, make sure you call Ace Marketing. Get a hold of Christy at 709-8662. Anything else?
That's it, I think.
All right. Well, this is Let's Talk Business. We'll be right back.
Mike Briggs Properties has a very special historic property for sale that can be used as a home or as a business. This classic California craftsman historical home is located in the Tower District, Fresno High area. The interior ambiance displays a heyday of craftsman aesthetics, substance, strength, symmetry, and casual grace. Elegantly appointed mahogany and oak structural elements integrate form and function in a harmonious flow from room to room in this 2-story, 4,500-foot home. The property also includes a nearly 800-foot 2-bedroom apartment above the garage. This property is well suited for a professional office type of business or for a large family or combined living and workspace. The lot included with this property is park-sized with plenty of room for expansion or as a parking lot big enough to support a commercial business. For more information on this property, call Mike Briggs Properties at 486-6758. Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758.
Double voice, Circle's Choice, Chuck Leonard on the CentralValleyTalk.com. We can all get along, listen to the guitar play.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Okay, welcome back to Let's Talk Business. Our next local business is Nadine with Castech Pest Control. Nadine, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Thanks for coming on. Now, pest control, this is a different one for me. I don't think I've had a pest control on yet. Castech's local, and they've been around how long?
I think they started in 78.
1978. And you've been with them the whole time?
No, I have not. I've been there since 2002.
Yeah. And what do you do for the company?
I am actually a inspector for the company. I go out and do the home inspections, write reports, tell people what they need as far as repairs, chemical treatments, pretty much anything that I can find that falls within the scope of my license.
You know, I have a lot of people, a lot of friends, okay, they're these green kind of guys, you know, the tree huggers, right? And they're like, we're not doing any of that inspection stuff or the pest control at our house. We'll let it be done naturally by where the bugs eat the bugs. That's not a good idea, is it?
Good luck.
Good luck. Because here in the valley, we got a lot of them.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have more than our share, I think. I remember years ago, subterranean termites used to be the thing that we would find most often.
Subterranean?
Now, subterranean termites, they live in the ground. But over about the last 10 years, we have been having a lot more of the drywood termites, which are the ones where we encompass the house in the tarps and we fumigate those houses. A lot of that going on now. So
Why is that? Is it because maybe we're having a little bit of a weather change here in the valley?
I don't know. I don't really know.
Are they brought in from other areas on the wood that's coming in? How does that happen?
It could happen, but I think they're just migrating this direction, and they have finally caught up with us.
Really?
So yeah, it's not a good thing. Nobody likes to be thrown out of their house for 2 nights, and then the expense of it and things like that. So it is something that can really be disturbing to a family and animals and to us sometimes too.
Now you do inspections for homeowners that are buying homes,
That's correct.
and you also do inspections on homeowners living in homes.
I do, yes.
Okay. So do we have a monthly fee that someone can pay where your company comes out once a month and sprays, or how does it work?
For general pests, you do that. For the termite industry, you don't. The inspection fees are $75. We go when you want us to go. It's kind of a one-time thing. Normally, it's for the purchase of the property, or somebody will find something that they think may be a problem, so they'll contact us. We go look at it to determine if it is or is not. But a lot of people have the consensus where pest control is everything, and it's really not. It's actually broken down into groups.
Okay, let's hear about it.
Okay, so you have fumigation, which would be one group, and that is the encompassing of the structures. You have general pests, that's ants, roaches, spiders, rats, bats, anything else that you could think of. And then the structural pests, which is what I am into, which is the termites, wood decay, rot, repairs, things of that nature.
Okay. Now, here in the valley, we have a lot of spiders.
Good.
So, do you recommend a once a month or once 6 months? What is it?
No, we do it every other month.
Every other month.
The newer chemicals that are out with the right concentration, the right application methods and things, every 60 days you're fine.
Okay, so let me voice some of the concerns that I was talking about from some of my friends. We grow our own garden, but we don't want those kind of pesticides around our garden. Mm-hmm. Is that even true?
Well, I don't know that I would apply pest controls too close to a garden area, because I think you can have drift, things like that. But there are a lot of people who have gardens. I have a garden, but
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me to put pesticides around my foundations and things like that. So it's again, it comes right back to where you apply those and how you apply them. So I think the tree huggers will be fine. I think we'll take care of their ants and roaches and spiders and whatever else.
Now, I have animals. I don't want my animals to be around this stuff.
Animals are fine too. All the chemicals now, in fact, if you look at our ad in the phone book, you'll see that we say that it is pet and children friendly, and it is. Again, it all goes back to the application methods and the application rates. If you do what the label tells you, we can get right into where the chemicals are, and there's no side effects. There's nothing that's going to harm us or our environment.
Right.
So.
Okay, how about this one? We live in an apartment, and I think we're getting roaches from the other guys across the way.
Let's talk to the manager. we may need to do a whole building search to try to find out where these things are coming from, figure out what we need to do, what our mode of attack is going to be. You can't just run into a place and think that you're going to do one apartment within a complex.
It's not general. You have to take care of the problem where it's at.
Yeah, because you don't want to chase them from one unit to the other unit and back and forth. If you don't do it
they
properly,
will.
Yes, they will.
Okay. What about the commercial where they plug that thing into the wall?
It works.
Does it really?
It works. It is a very good deterrent.
Yeah?
Yes. The little clicking noise.
I don't know what it is. They plug it into the wall and it says everything goes away.
Okay. I'm not sure that's totally true, but okay.
What about the rodents? The mice, the rats.
We do have a lot of problems with rats, tree rats and things like that in the area. Most of the time you find those over around
the old fig.
Old fig,
right?
Because of the trees overhang the power lines. Power lines go to the property, so they have a lot of. Yeah. Oh, ivy's really bad for them too. And yeah, but they have a lot of entry areas that they can get into roofs and And the ivy again is that's kind of a bad one for like black widows and things like that.
Oh gosh, black widow. That was what I was going to say next. Now I've had a black widow bite before, and I never want one again. Have you had one?
No, I've been doing this since 1978. I've never been bitten. I don't know. Maybe I move faster than you.
Maybe. I assume that these got me when I was asleep.
Oh,
So you spray for those.
yes.
And that's every 60 days?
Every 60 days.
And you won't see one.
I won't say you won't see one, but if you do, we'd appreciate a call.
Really?
Yes.
What do you do for the rodents? How do you get rid of those?
Oh, there's different types of things that they do. I'm licensed in branch 3, so I don't do rodents, but our office does, and we do a lot of baiting, and you have to go and you have to actually figure out how they're getting into the area. So if they have something in the attic, you need to find out how they're getting in the attic. So
Right.
you'll go up and plug those holes, bait, to try to get rid of things that you have, and hopefully that's the end of it.
Again, here another concern I've heard. Well, if you come and you poison the mice and the rats, then they're going to die. Then my dog's going to eat it, and then my dog's going to get sick. Is that?
No secondary poisoning.
There's.
No, the
That's
concentrated, yeah, the concentration is not going to be enough that it's going to harm an animal. So there's no secondary effect on that. So you wouldn't have to worry about that.
We talk a lot about buying and selling homes here. If you were going to be buying a new home, would you want a company like? Would you want to have it inspected yourself or have it inspected by the mortgage company?
Well, I'm not sure the mortgage companies make any kind of choice as to who the inspector is.
That's my point.
I think that a lot of times it comes from the real estate agent, or it will fall back to the sellers or the buyers as to what company they want to use. Everybody has a preference as to who they like, or else they'll talk to friends, family, try to get names of people, someone that they can trust. They'll have an inspection done. The mortgage company, once they get it, then it's kind of a little bit late then.
They might be looking for the deal. They might be working with the same guy, and that gives them the cheapest price and maybe not the best inspection.
Well, you can have as many inspections as you like.
Okay.
So if you were given an inspection report by a mortgage company or a buyer or a seller, and you didn't quite agree with the things that maybe you were seeing at the property and seeing on a report, you always have the right to have your own inspection. You can, of course, you're going to pay for it, but you can have an inspection done by anybody that you choose. You could choose any company, any inspector to come out, and you can have 10 reports on the same property if you want. The only problem with that is you have to make sure that everybody's aware, that everybody gets to view those reports, that you don't pick one that you want to use and everybody else just gets tossed in the trash can. You can't do that.
When you have an inspection done on your home prior to it being purchased, how long does the inspector stand behind that report?
Well, according to the Structural Pest Control Board, the people who license us, the reports are good for the day that you do them. Because termites can show up overnight. You can have a leak that can damage things in your home overnight. There's a lot of things that can happen. But we stand behind all of our reports. We go out and we do something. If we get a call that perhaps we've missed something, or maybe we misidentified something, maybe we thought it was something small, but you think it's something big, then we want to call. We want to follow up. We want to go out and find out. If we goofed up, we want to make it right.
Sounds like a family business, is it?
No, well, it is a family business. Not me. I'm not family, but yes, it is a family business.
I think that's an important way to do business,
Yes,
is to stand behind your business.
Yeah, it's the only way.
Now, before we get going, I want to ask you something. You do the inspections yourself?
I do.
So you're the one up in the attics, and you're the one underneath the house? And
Yes, I'm the troublemaker. Yes,
So, and you've been doing that for how long?
since '78.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me a story. What have you seen?
Well, I've seen a lot of things. Probably the craziest thing I've ever had happen to me was I found a jar with human fingers in it.
What?
Yeah. So that was yeah. That's kind of the way I thought.
You
too.
found a jar with human fingers in it.
Yeah.
What'd you do with it?
I turned them over to the police department. I don't know what they did with them, and it didn't matter. I didn't. As long as they weren't in my car anymore, I didn't care.
Where was it?
It was under a house in the basement. Did he tell you more? You want to know the area of town?
All right. Now, Nadine, if they call up Tech, are they going to ask for you?
They can. We have several inspectors there, and they're all just as good, just as trained, and know their job just as well as anybody else. So you can call there, and we'll send out whoever you want.
And the phone number over there is 352-7296. Do you guys have a website?
I don't have a website. That is actually my cell phone number. Our office is 233-2847. So it's 233-BUGS.
233-BUGS if you guys want to have your house inspected or set up a pesticide service.
Yes.
Nadine, thank you very much for coming by. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Come back again. I'd like to hear some more about those fingers. We'll be right back on Let's Talk Business. This segment is brought to you by Corrine Hatfield of Platinum Mortgage. If you are thinking of purchasing a new home or refinancing an existing home, call Corrine Hatfield at 917-7111.
This just in. Tower District houses are selling for as little as $300 per month. If you have a job and decent credit, you can own your own home. If you can come up with a down payment, you can own a home a lot cheaper than you can rent, and your payment will never go up. Also, you could deduct most of your house payment from your income taxes. If you'd like to lock in your monthly house payment at $300 to $500 per month for the next 30 years, call Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758. Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758.
Hey, my name is Chris DeVold, and I am host of one of CentralValleyTalk.com's hottest new shows, Sex, Drugs, and Chris DeVold, where we sit around for an hour and read the Bible. No, we don't. You think with a name like Sex, Drugs, and Chris DeVold, that's what we're doing? No. We sit around, we talk about lewd topics, we drink beer, and I vow to bring you one local live musician every friggin' week. You can count on that. So grab your best friend, come to the studio or watch from home, and get ready to blush every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on Sex, Drugs, and Chris DeVold.
You can advertise your business, your product, or your event on Central Valley Talk, the Valley's only internet television station. Several of our programs are also picked up on Dish and cable networks. For the best advertising dollar, call Central Valley Talk at 579-1360.
You're watching CentralValleyTalk.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Mike Briggs Properties has a very special historic property for sale that can be used as a home or as a business. This classic California craftsman historical home is located in the Tower District, Fresno High area. The interior ambiance displays a heyday of craftsman aesthetics, substance, strength, symmetry, and casual grace. Elegantly appointed mahogany and oak structural elements integrate form and function in a harmonious flow from room to room in this two-story, 4,500-foot home. The property also includes a nearly 800-foot, two-bedroom apartment above the garage. This property is well suited for a professional office type of business or for a large family or combined living and workspace. The lot included with this property is parkside expansion or as a parking lot big enough to support a commercial business. For more information on this property, Briggs Properties at 486-6758. Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758.
Proper voice, Freckles Choice, Chuck Leonard on CentralValleyTalk.com. We can all get along, listen to the guitar play.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome to Let's Talk Business, and we have another local business for you right now. Let's bring in Paul and Ion from Mantra House. How you guys doing? Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
How's it going?
Good. It's going well.
Okay, since I don't know much about Mantra House, let's just start out by saying, what do you guys do?
We produce broadcast commercials, so basically 30-second or 15-second commercials, and corporate videos for people in the area and outside the area as well.
Excellent. Now, how long have you been doing this?
Gosh, I've been probably doing about 15 years.
Okay.
So we've just recently partnered. Yeah, we've been doing it for a while. We kind of just partnered. So we've been together doing Mantra House. It's been this is our second month actually.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
How's
you.
the new
Thanks.
business venture working out?
Been doing very well.
Yeah.
Busy. It's been busy.
What'd you do before, Ian?
I've pretty much been doing this for about 13 years. Prior to that, I did web design and found out that I hated it. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So, yeah.
And so, do you work with ad agencies, or do you go out to the?
We work with ad agencies and also direct to client as well.
Okay.
So we kind of do a mixture of both.
Do you specialize in any kind of company or
No, we
type
do.
of commercials?
No, not any type. We have a pretty wide range of. I mean, usually that is more specialized. Like in a bigger market, you'd have people just like specializing. They'd be, this would be the food guys. This is the
Right.
automotive guys. You
Right.
know, here you kind of have to wear more hats, obviously, just in a smaller market. So we've done, gosh, just about everything. We've done
Minor league
food,
baseball, public service announcements, food.
casino, so Indian gaming, IQ, stuff like that.
Is there any commercials that we might recognize that are out there now?
See, we're doing IQ right now. We do EECU spots.
Fresno Fair.
We do the fair every year. We've been doing that for like 3 or 4 years. What else are we working on? We just finished a long format for the children's movement. We do a lot of promotional videos for companies that a lot of times they have events, like the mayor might have a state of the city and
Right.
having an event and they'll want to show a video. So we do a lot of videos that will show initially at an event and then it'll live on the web or something else.
Now, I was at the downtown breakfast.
The downtown video, for the Fulton Mall.
Yeah, did you guys
tearing
do
up,
that?
We did that.
We
yes.
did that one.
On the I Believe one?
I believe, yeah.
I love that. That was very powerful and I think entertaining in a way, which I found nice because you took local people
Mhm.
and used the local people, the ones that essentially the ones that matter.
Yeah,
Put him in there. I think when it comes to a big issue like that, people want to hear from people like us. They don't necessarily want to hear from the politicians.
yeah. I mean, they put in a guy from LA because it's good to hear though from an outside area saying his opinion of it.
Sure.
But the rest were all local, basically. So you had the owner of the Pacific Southwest building, and
Savak.
You had a resident. And Steve Skibby, who's
Right.
part of Downtown Partnership.
Reza Semi, who's doing the Ironbird Lost and the
Sure.
Cultural Arts
Part of
District.
Granville, all the
Right.
urban, rentals and things like that they're doing there. So, it was a good mix of people.
Now,
Yeah, it was-
when you guys put together a video like that, you write it all out yourself? It's all your idea, or was that somebody else's idea and you just put it together yourself?
That came from an ad agency, so the ad agency will write it. In the case of when they're talking on camera, sometimes you just kind of write what you think they're going to say, and maybe guide them there, but that may change, and so
Sure.
it's a little fluid. You may change a little of the voiceover or a little bit of the overall spot or the video itself to make sure that it actually works after the fact. So in post, you are kind of massaging it and making the script work a little more than it actually was written, the way it was written.
Well, you guys are in the Pacific Southwest building.
We are, yes.
Seventh floor.
So,
Seventh floor.
am I assuming that you're in the whole downtown movement also?
We've been there, like I said, this is our second month, so we've only been there for a little while, but we'll start to go that route, like to get involved more. We liked when we ended up in that building because when we shot that video, we shot Savak in his loft, and we just kind of,
Isn't that a beautiful loft?
It's a beautiful loft,
It is.
and I've never really kind of, Fulton Mall, and why would I go down to Fulton Mall, blah, 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 and, but I spent, we both were there days shooting, and so we kind of liked the urban feel of it, and we kind
Sure.
of fell in love with it, and so when we were looking for a space, we thought of that building again, and we went and asked, hey, are you renting space, and kind of looked around all the areas, and in the end, like that building.
Made a lot of sense. Huh?
It made sense
Yeah,
for us.
it
It
did.
really did. And it's got windows, so we have a nice
Yeah,
view.
great view. Now, you guys said you do minor league baseball.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Yep.
Probably at least 10 teams across the country.
No
right now.
kidding.
Oh, yeah, at
Maybe a
least.
dozen.
Yeah, I'd say
know.
12 to 15, but yeah, that's
That's a nice little niche to get into.
Yeah, so we've done. That's probably started probably about a month ago. We've been churning out spots for all kinds of teams with crazy names in minor league.
Yeah.
Aqua Sox,
Yeah, Everett
The
Aqua
Aqua
Sox,
Sox.
the
Yeah.
Northwest Indiana Oilmen.
the Rattlers,
I'm losing track of them all.
Oh.
It's a blur, but
yeah, it's
yeah,
a
Now,
lot.
they
did
don't have
you-
traditional names.
Did you get into that because you're baseball fans? Is that kind of like the
No.
way you got into the baseball thing, or is
No, we were doing Grizzly spots
Yeah.
before, and knew somebody who now has a company called Wheelhouse Sports Marketing, and so he does that, and so he utilizes us to handle all his spots for them. So he sells it for us across
excellent?
the country, and right now probably getting into hockey
Yeah.
next.
Nice.
So that way it can be a year-round thing. We do baseball, we do minor league baseball, we do minor league hockey, maybe arena football. You've got kind of a year-round.
We just had an ABA basketball team that's opening up here in Fresno also.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know
they
that.
were here last Thursday for the Let's Talk Business show. So I'll give you that information before you leave.
Cool.
Yeah, what we end up doing is we create templates for them, and so it ends up being a low-cost spot for them, but we can churn it out here in California for
Right.
some baseball team in Wisconsin. We just need a few assets from them, and then we get a spot better. We give them a spot better than what they could have done for that amount of money anywhere else, and then they're on the air. So it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, it
We'll
has.
probably pick up. I would imagine after this has been the first year. Probably next year you can pick up more teams, even more minor league baseball teams. And
So how many employees do you guys have?
you're looking
You're
at
looking at it.
The dynamic duo
That's
right,
right.
here.
Yeah, so I basically I direct and produce, and then Ian does. We both edit. Ian will do more of the 3D and motion graphics, and any kind of special effects and compositing. So if I'm shooting something and there's a car in the way,
Which is often.
later on, can you just take
Often.
that car out of the shot? Yeah, so he doesn't like that too much when I surprise him. Like
Yeah,
that.
or the day's getting late and he's and I'm not there. He'll go, yeah, we'll fix that later in post, and then I end up yelling at him a couple days later when I'm working on the spot.
Yeah, so he's my fix it in post. That's my.
Well,
go-to.
everybody's got to have their position in the
Yeah.
company, right?
Yeah.
So there's a local company watching right now, and it doesn't have a commercial made, and they get a hold of you, what's the first step?
Well, it's really figuring out budget-wise how much they want to spend for their airtime, and so that would kind of depend on how much they should really spend for the commercial. What makes sense? A home builder, an eye doctor, their production needs to be higher than somebody else who may just have more of a local, smaller firm. But it just depends. I mean, the budgets range. We've done spots from a couple of grand to $100,000. It's just there's no set cost. It's really what are your expectations? How much are you going to spend in airtime?
Right.
You probably take a % of that and take that and say, okay, it makes sense to spend this much on your commercial. Maybe someone who's in a little higher production value might spend a little higher percentage, like a casino,
Right.
like an eye doctor, home builder,
Right.
because their image is everything. So they might spend a little higher, a little higher percentage of that. But that's really where you start. Like, how much airtime can you afford in the first place?
With social marketing the way it is, networking going on right now, what if someone just wanted to have a commercial just made? Do you think that's a smart thing to do?
We can do that. I'm not
Yeah.
sure the whole social marketing thing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone kind of quantify results for me yet on that. I would think that would make sense, at least if not now, down the road. I guess it would depend on their site. If they had a lot of people who are engaging in their site and commenting on their site all
Sure.
the time,
You know what I see more of, not necessarily in the social marketing, but a lot of companies will utilize the web for explanatory type videos. So they've got product X,
Right.
And instead of sending you a manual or emailing you, something that you have to thumb through that, nobody's going to thumb through that. They would
Sure.
rather put a more, interactive experience up there, and they'll have a talking head, a person on camera walking them through, here's step one of our process and blah,
Sure.
blah, blah. Honestly, I'm more apt to pay attention to something like that because, we're all living online anyway.
Right.
So
Yeah, there's a
that's
lot of that going on right now.
yeah, actually, there's quite a bit of that going on. Interactive magazines on your iPhones and your tablets and all that kind of stuff. More and more people are making animated magazines now,
Sure.
which is an interesting trend. So
people need content.
yeah,
Totally.
Yeah. Whether that would work on Facebook, I'm not sure about that. I would think it would if it was probably need to be a lower cost spot to put on there. It would make sense.
Right.
Unless they just had a million, ton of
yeah.
friends.
You guys it seem like you have a good feel for what's going on around town. How's business going around town?
Business in general, we've been pretty busy.
Yeah.
Like in the last, in the economy, people said the economic downturn and all that. We were still pretty busy the last several years, really. We were working with an ad agency. I think people still wanted their videos. They still wanted them online. They maybe just wanted them cheaper,
Right.
but they still wanted them.
Right.
So our flow of work didn't really change much in the last, even 5 years, really. And anything, we're doing more long formats. We're doing more of the kind of videos he was talking about for web and, just explanatory videos, just more content related.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of companies, buy into the fact that when it's, if the economy is perceived as slow, even around town or nationally or whatever, advertise more, get your name,
Sure.
out there. Sometimes it's the best
Yeah.
time to advertise, but yeah, and like you said, as far as we've noticed, there really hasn't been any slowdown.
I wasn't sure how it was going to work with Fresno. Normally on a national level, when the economy goes down, they'll actually advertise more.
Right.
So I wasn't sure how.
Makes a lot of sense.
And then 911 hit, and that affected actually the national guys. So they actually started to spend less money. So there was a hit there for a while. But in Fresno, they're still advertising, like I said. They just maybe want it for a little cheaper or so. So we've had to find ways to work around
Can you
that.
accommodate them?
Usually we can. It
Yeah.
depends on.
It's hard to
It
say
really
no,
depends.
right?
It's hard to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends.
For a commercial, to make a really good commercial, you have to hit it on every level. So people in the spot have to be right. The audio has to sound right. If you miss on anything, then the spot kind of doesn't work on some level. Sometimes the viewer won't necessarily know why. They just know I don't really like that spot. But it could have been numerous things: the way it looked, the way it sounded.
That's why you got to have them do it.
Yeah.
You gotta have them be the actor.
Then be the
Then
actor.
it's always
Yeah,
right.
that always works.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, sometimes there is a lot of that going on.
Are you guys from Fresno?
I am.
Yeah?
I'm
Yep.
not. I'm from down south.
Okay.
So yeah.
What brought you to Fresno?
My wife's from Fresno area.
It's always a girl.
It's always yeah. So I was doing work down there for some ad agencies down there. Actually, one in particular, and I don't know. We had some. I was actually coming up here to get work as well. I was kind of doing both, and then my work there kind of started to go down south. And like I said, basically when 9/11 hit, that was around the time I moved up. Right after that, so my family moved up here in October of 2001, right after 9/11, and then I moved up. I was kind of going back and forth still, and then around December I moved up here.
What is it that you like about Fresno?
There's a lot of things I like. Everyone always asks me that. There's things I like, and there's things I still miss back home. Everyone here says, "Why would you live in LA?" Well, it's like I don't live off the 5 freeway. I live.
Right.
Depends where you live.
Right.
And there's a lot to do there. I miss the beach. I'm more of an ocean person, not really a mountain person per se. So I miss that. People talk here about being centrally located. Well, I was, 20 minutes from the beach and an hour from snow skiing. So I was like, I was kind of centrally located there.
I had a
But for a lot more money.
What's that? For more money in housing, yes.
Right.
Everything else, though, really not so much. It's really just the housing. Everything else is pretty much the same. I miss things like, in LA or in Hollywood, there are certain theaters you could go and see older films or certain films that they're refurbishing and showing them. You don't have that
I
kind
saw a
of
real
mission
neat one in Pasadena when I was down there.
on Colorado Boulevard.
Right on
yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah. So you don't have that kind of thing here, which I wish there was.
Sure.
I was telling him a while back. I think in Fig Garden, where that old theater was, be a perfect place for an independent theater to be.
I think downtown has a couple of
Or
great ones.
I mean, they'd have
The Hardy, the Crest.
See, that's the thing. I don't know anything about, so I have to learn. You have to teach me.
Well, you have to
I don't know
take
that-
some walks around.
I
there.
know.
Really-
I know. I
really-
really am a newbie to all of downtown. So, but I
Yeah.
do miss that. And I used to live in Pasadena, just 2 blocks from Colorado Boulevard. So
Okay.
I could walk to, a theater that had a bookstore next to
You ever
it.
been to T-Boyle's?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, we'll talk about that
Okay.
later. Yeah, it's a fun place. Now, you grew up here, Ian?
I did, yeah. I'm born in Modesto, and then basically here all my life. I graduated from Fresno State here in '98 with a degree in graphic design, and like I said, I tried my hand at web design because at the time that was where you were supposed to be, and
Right.
yeah, it wasn't where I was supposed to be.
Do you think that maybe
I am a monster. I will never back down.
I am part of a tradition. I got green in my veins! I'm ready to go! I'm a monster!
This is our team.
This is our town! This is our barn! This is our time.
I am relentless.
I will never get tired of the goal song. I'm ready to go! I will never quit.
I am a monster.
I am a monster! I am a monster!
Watch Tim Thiessen live Wednesdays at 3 p.m. right here on CentralValleyTalk.com and on digital channel 33.2. If you missed the live broadcast, we're on every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. on Comcast channel 200 and digital channel 43.5. You don't want to miss this.
you're watching CentralValleyTalk.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Business. I'm Chuck Leonard, and our next local business is Spero Software. Laurie, how are you?
Great.
Good. So, Laurie, why don't you tell me a little bit about Spero Software?
Okay, so Spero Software is a case management software for rescue missions. Homeless shelters.
Really?
Yeah, for homeless shelters, they have recovery programs. And so our software helps them keep track of the people that they serve.
Well, that's awesome. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I've been a software developer for over 20 years, and I decided to do something to create something to help the community. And just kind of stumbled across this. The Fresno Rescue Mission called my other company, Summit Software, and asked if we could help them create software for their case management. And I had already kind of started creating Spero for nonprofits. So one thing led to another, and they convinced me there was a need for it. And so we launched our software in 2010, went to our first conference with the Association of Gospel Rescue Missions, and we have grown to 11 clients since then.
Awesome. And how does it work?
Okay, so we have a couple screenshots I'd love to show you.
I'd love to see them.
Okay, great. So I'll show you the profile, the intake. Basically, all of our forms are customizable. So as you can see on the forms there, you can keep track of addictions, you can keep track of legal matters, you can keep track of family, contact information. But everything you see on there, each mission or each organization, doesn't have to be a rescue mission, can use Spero to keep track of what's important to them.
Sure.
And to their donors and their funders, because
Right.
everything you see, they can write reports from it. And so we really have focused on allowing our clients to control their environment, which is very important. And it's easier for us.
Whatever their specialty might be, right?
Exactly. So they don't have to call us and say, oh, can you add a field over here and over there? And then you have to add it to the report. So we've just enabled them to be able to do their work. And basically it helps them to spend more time with people than in paperwork.
That's
Okay.
awesome. What else do you have?
Well, we actually have a really great, exciting new feature that I don't think the other companies have yet.
Ooh, let's hear it.
It's ID scan cards.
Ooh.
And so this is our Bradley. He's our mascot. He's very cute. He's not a real person in a shelter. So we designed these cards. Fresno Rescue Mission has been kind of a leading organization to help us with new ideas and test everything out for us. Thank you, Fresno Rescue Mission, because it's not easy being the test site. And so these cards allow the missions to do so many things. It allows the missions to, when they come into the overnight shelter, they scan the card, If there's any alerts on the person, it can pop up and let them know.
Alerts, medicines needed, or
No warrants out for their arrest.
oh, those kind of alerts.
Yeah, more like, they're not supposed to be down there.
Okay.
The police have been looking for them, and so it pops up and says there's an alert, and then the person behind the desk can plan accordingly. We have reports and things like that for medication.
Right.
So we don't want to, always alerts to pop up. So these are pretty high level alerts. We do plan on building in some more customizable alerts for maybe things like that. So those are really fun. So they can scan in all the attendants at the overnight shelters. It'll check to see if they have a bed assignment. They can scan on all the classes that they take. So in the recovery program, they take Bible study classes, they take financial management classes, they take parenting classes, all kinds of different classes. They're busy in the recovery programs.
So this isn't just helping the mission itself, but it's helping the person.
Oh yes.
Because keeping track of all that stuff can't be easy for them either.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we just built a new feature that allows them to schedule all their appointments for if they're going off to offsite visits, because they stay busy. Their job is to get well and get back into the community. And so they have to go to all their court dates. They have to, see the doctor. They have sometimes family counseling meetings they go to, and then a lot of classes. And so one of the things we've just built is a calendar for them. So you can go in there and you can print a calendar for each person, or you can print a calendar for everyone in your program at once.
With one click of the mouse.
Pretty much, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really great. And so another use for the scan cards is, Fresno Rescue Mission is using scan cards a lot for all their classes. They're fully functional. And when you scan the card, it pops up with a big picture of the person. So they can't trade cards with each other, because the guy behind him is going to go, hey, dude, you're not John. Right? You're Bill. Right. Don't be doing that, because it'll mess things up for everybody. And so they use it for that. But one of the biggest uses that they have for it is they have a monitor up in the front desk area. And every time somebody goes to an off-site appointment or to a family pass, an overnight pass, a weekend pass, they have to sign out of the mission on paper and sign back in. So you can imagine what could happen on a manual paper system. Yeah. Bill, Joe, hey, sign in for me, sign out for me, and we know what happens. And so now what happens is they scan their ID card, and it pops up and says, well, let's say their appointment was for 9 a.m. and it's 8:45. It says, whoops, you're a little early. You need to wait till 9. And so they have to sit and wait. Yeah, it's great. And so then at 9 o'clock they scan out. Then when they scan back in, if they scan in late, they don't know this yet, but an email, we just got this in place, goes to a case manager that's been assigned to them. Wow. And so, or all the case managers. So as soon as Joe signs in at 10 o'clock when he was supposed to be back at 9, he doesn't even know it, but his case manager is going to get a text message or email message to let them know it was a late check-in.
Wow. And so not only is this good for that, it's good for safety, isn't it?
It is. And also we know they can run a report to see who's off-site. So if there was a fire or something like that, they could run it's web-based, and so they could run the report from another building or any place with the internet, and see who was actually in the building or who wasn't in the building at the time. And so it's a great safety tool as well. The scan cards, I have 2 missions that are using scan cards. I just found out one day, they called me and said, hey, we just wanted to had a couple questions about these scan cards, and it's a downtown rescue mission in Huntsville, Alabama. I hope I'm saying these right. And Billings, Montana rescue mission. They have issued scan cards to the entire community, and they serve meals to all of the community. You don't even have to stay at the shelter or be in the program. And so they've got scan cards all over the city, and the police like it too, because it's good for identification. Sure. And so so they scan in all their meals. And they're just using it to the highest level. It's very exciting.
That is very exciting. Yeah. Now, what about these vouchers?
Okay, so the vouchers, another use for scan cards, and everything you use a scan card for, you can also do manually. You can type in their name instead of scanning the card. Okay. So you don't have to have scan cards. The vouchers, this is probably, I think I'm most excited about this. Most of the rescue missions own thrift stores.
Right.
Okay. And then also community churches and other business organizations offer services and items and goods to the people that are at the mission. So they can go to the mission and get a voucher and say, I'm going to get 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of shoes, church shoes, dress shoes, however they categorize it. And that goes into the Spero system, and then they go down to the thrift store and they scan their card or type in their name, and it shows them everything they're going to get. And if they just get one pair of shoes, it credits them back for a pair so they can come back later.
That is awesome.
And then the vendor can run their own reports as well. And they don't, so at this point, they don't have to be a Spero client because they're offering these services. So
Sure.
they get a login for free, but that's all they can do with the software.
And they get compensated for what the...
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, we're excited about
That's
that.
great.
I definitely know nobody has that feature so far.
That's awesome.
So-
Now, you have something else that you wanted to talk about, and that was the apps? Was it?
Well, actually, that says appointments, but we do have
Appointments,
apps. I'm
okay.
glad you said that.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
All right.
See, we have so many great new things I keep forgetting. We do have apps. You can download the attendance manager from iTunes or iPhone
Right.
or on the Android.
Okay.
And then instead of having to have a computer with a handheld scanner, you can scan with your phone.
Wow.
So when volunteers come into the missions and they're teaching a class,
Uh-huh.
we give them logins because they can't see any confidential data.
Sure.
So we give them logins and they just scan the cards in, and we have automatic attendance.
Wow.
Yes, yeah. So that's very exciting as well. And one of our newest features that is starting development in July. I'm kind of addicted to development. Can't
Okay.
stop.
Sounds like you're doing great at it.
Oh my gosh, we've done so much in the last 4 months. It's crazy. But what we're doing is we're building an entire volunteer module system. So volunteers can go online to the website. We'll have a plugin. You saw those custom forms earlier?
Sure.
Okay. So they can design their form, what they want the volunteer to fill out, and then they can publish it to their website. And volunteers can log in, create an account, keep their information up to date, and sign up for opportunities. And then they can also use scan cards to track their time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very...
This is all really automated. This is something I never would have thought would be at the rescue mission.
Well, the thing about rescue missions now is they've completely changed their way of doing business. If you they had to. It wasn't working, right? And they know it. I mean, sorry, but we all know it. So just letting people sleep there and leave for the day and come back and sleep there. Even in the overnight shelter, these people get case managed now. They don't just come in there and sleep and eat. They're automatically, most missions are assigned to a case manager. They go to a job search. They have money savings programs.
Right.
They help them do their resumes, and they're serious about helping people. So they're ready for this technology, which is great for Spero Software.
Does it save them money?
It does save them money. What time is money, right?
Right.
Okay, so if it takes me, 2 hours to go dig in files to run a report, and I take my hourly rate, it takes me 2 seconds to click it, I've just saved time. It's all man hours, right? But I think more important than money, I think that what makes me excited is it just, like I think I said this earlier, it gives them more time to spend with the people. And social work doesn't pay a lot, right? So,
Not what it should.
you have these counselors in there, they're working really hard. They all do it because they care and they have a passion. They're not doing it for the money and glamour. And so for me, watching them, the load coming off of them and allowing them to just have everything at their fingertips, is really special and important to me.
And it seems to me that it's pretty easy to use, isn't it?
It's very user-friendly.
Right.
I get very few training calls. Typically what I get is, we do something a little differently, so what tool in Spero can we use? And once you show it to them one time, they've got it. They've got it, yeah.
right?
So a volunteer
Awesome.
can come on, and yeah, it's great.
Awesome. Well, Laurie, I want to thank you for coming on. It was
thanks for
so
having
nice
me.
to finally meet you. I think you're doing a great thing for the community, and I hope to have you back on real soon.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right.
This is Let's Talk Business, and we will see you next Thursday at 1 p.m.
Mike Briggs Properties has a very special historic property for sale that can be used as a home or as a business. This classic California craftsman historical home is located in the Tower District, Fresno High area. The interior ambiance displays a heyday of craftsman aesthetics, substance, strength, symmetry, and casual grace. Elegantly appointed mahogany and oak structural elements integrate form and function in a harmonious flow from room to room in this two-story, 4,500-foot home. The property also includes a nearly 800-foot, two-bedroom apartment above the garage. This property is well suited for a professional office type of business.
CentralValleyTalk.com